Let's imagine like you lie to other people, right? You lie to your mom or your dad or your friend or your girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever. And you tell yourself lying is okay. Even though deep down you think lying is not okay, right? But you keep lying. Eventually you're gonna develop the habit of lying. And if you think that's gonna lead to positive consequences, then be my guest. More power to you. Keep doing that. But let me tell you, self-deception is not the right way to go. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Psychology with Khian, where today we'll be talking about something I really dislike. It's called positive illusion. Of course, before we get to the content, I'd like to give a big shout out to the sponsor, FnK Concept. Be sure to check them out on Shopee or Lazada for cool products at reasonable prices. And I'm so surprised that I didn't break my voice when I say Lazada. Oh, I did there. But yeah, I tried to make it a high pitch. I didn't break my voice. And today I'm having my glasses on because I need to read as I do the video, right? Because I made some notes and I just want to make sure that I have all the points down. And a lot of people say I don't look good with the glasses, but guess what? I need to read. I need to, make sure I have all the points in. So bear with me right there. Positive illusion. I've come across this on Instagram and Facebook recently, and I realized that, I know, to me it's just one of the most absurd things in the world. Positive illusion is basically a form of from my understanding and from my reading. I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, do let me know, okay? I could be wrong. I'm not an expert in this. I'm just expressing my thoughts on this from what I know, from my understanding. I've done as much research as I can, and I can still be wrong because obviously, the more you know, the more you don't know, right? So I'm just expressing my thoughts on what I know so far. Alright. Positive illusion is basically a form of self-deception, where you lie to yourself to make sure that you're more positive. An example of this, you have a lot of homework to do, a lot of exams, and because you've been lazy, you've been procrastinating and not catching up on the work and not on top of all of the responsibilities that you're responsible for. So you tell yourself, oh my gosh, Khian, it's okay. You know what? Things are gonna get better. I'm good enough. I should appreciate myself for who I am, and I'm good enough. So yeah. You just lie to yourself and say that things will get better. And right now, since all these responsibilities are just too big, too much beyond myself, I'm just gonna not do anything. Because you know what? When I not do anything, things might get better. I'm not even joking. From my understanding, that is what positive illusion is. But hey, I've only lived in this world for 21 years. Actually, 20 years. I turned 21 only in November. But I can tell you for sure that is not the freaking case. From my personal experience, it has never been the case that if you do not do anything at all about your responsibilities, things will get better. That is not the case. Like, things do not get better until you make the decision to make it better, right? That's my personal experience. Maybe I haven't lived long enough. Maybe when I turn 30, it could be the other way around. But as of now, looking at the trend and looking at the pattern of my everyday life, that does not seem to be the case. I want to share a few points with you, 3 points with you, and I've written this down to make sure I have it. Number 1, self-deception is not the right thing to do. Right? If you read history, some psychology, you realize that in the long term, while I can actually read because my handwriting is not that bad without glasses. So hey, you can look at me, I'm not that bad looking without my glasses. Okay, self-deception is not the right thing to do. If you deceive yourself actively for an enough number of times, that is not gonna do you any good. Okay, let's imagine this. Let's imagine you lie to other people, right? You lie to your mom or your dad or your friend or your girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever. And you tell yourself lying is okay. Even though deep down you think lying is not okay, right? But you keep lying. Eventually you're gonna develop the habit of lying. And if you think that's gonna lead to positive consequences, then be my guest. More power to you. Keep doing that. But let me tell you, self-deception is not the right way to go. And positive illusion is basically a form of self-deception. Because every time you have something that you feel is beyond yourself, you resort to self-deception. You're like, this is too much for me. Maybe I should just not do anything. And tell myself that things will get better. I mean, you do that, I'll give you an everyday example. Let's say you have one piece of homework today, and you tell yourself, oh my god, I'm just too stressed to work on the homework right now. So, there's one piece of homework undone. You do that for a week, 7 pieces of homework undone. You do that for 2 weeks, 14 pieces of homework undone. And what are you gonna do? Are you gonna wait for the 15th day when you're like, oh my gosh, I just realized that I have 14 or 15 pieces of homework undone, before you start working on the homework? Before you start stressing yourself out and, causing more unnecessary mental health issues to yourself? That's not the way to go, man. Or you can continue to deceive yourselves and then you fail in that subject, and you're gonna debate me and be like, oh, you know what, failing in 1 or 2 subjects is alright. But hey, that's not alright, man. Number 2, things do not and will not get better unless you choose to make it better. I might sound a little bit pessimistic here, but let me just tell you where I'm coming from. When people like your friends or family say, hey Khian, you know what? Don't worry, things will get better. I honestly think that what that means is that what that implies, like in that statement of things will get better, what's underneath that is that because you will become stronger, right? Let me tell you an example. When I was at UBC for the first time, like in my first year at UBC, oh my god, UBC, what am I saying? In my first year at UBC, I was like really stressed because, hey, I was leaving my family for the first time. I didn't have friends and family in Canada. I didn't have friends from high school to attend at UBC, so I was basically there alone. And I was not used to the workload at all because on top of all the schoolwork, I had laundry, I had to sort out my meals, I had to sort out credit cards and insurance and just medical cards and things like that. And all these, as I list them out verbally, might seem like small trivial things. But as these things add up, they take up a lot of time, right? And it's like living alone for the first time, living away from family at least for the first time, traveling across continents, right? That was all stressful. And then I was so stressed. And then I was speaking to a senior. I was like, oh my gosh, there's so many readings to do, so much homework, so many assignments, so many exams and midterms that are like, that actually count towards your final grade, so they actually matter. I was like, I'm just so stressed out. And the senior was just like, Khian, don't worry, everything will get better. And I was like, oh, okay, that's pretty weird. Do you think that things are gonna become easier as I progress in university? He's like, no, things are not gonna get better, but you are gonna get used to it. What that means is that you're gonna put yourself in that stressful situation for long enough until you habituate. And that's how you grow and become stronger, isn't it? Imagine if I just tell myself things are not gonna get better and I don't work hard, do you think that things are gonna get better? Do you think my work is gonna get done on its own? You think like laundry is gonna be done by itself? No, man. By the 7th day of the week, I'm gonna be like, oh, I don't have any other underwear to wear this week, so am I not gonna wear underwear to school? Like, that's a stupid idea, man. Especially for guys, sometimes things get hard down there. Anyway, I digress. The idea is that you gotta get used to it by pushing yourself hard so that you're used to the workload. That is the idea of how things get better. Not just they will magically get better. Unless, of course, you're super duper duper privileged, or you're super duper duper lucky, or you're just, I guess a free rider or something. Then yeah, maybe things will get better. For the most part, you have to work on it. Which brings me to my third point. There is a form of medical therapy or clinical therapy in psychology called exposure therapy. That's where like people who have, PTSD, like post-traumatic stress disorder, or depression or anxiety, they expose themselves to things that they're scared of, and eventually they become used to it, right? So someone with anxiety might have an anxiety for like buttons, right? There's a case study in the past in psychology where this boy, he has a phobia for buttons, like buttons on your shirt because of some childhood experience, right? And what happened? He went for the exposure therapy, of course with like very detailed and intricate clinical steps. Step by step, he overcame his phobia for buttons. But the entire surrounding this exposure therapy is that you expose yourselves to those things that you feel you're vulnerable to. And that is how you get stronger, which relates to the previous point. You gotta keep working hard, push yourself. Of course, you gotta know your limits. Don't push yourself too far to the extent that they're like, it's so extreme that you end up feeling worse. It's not a good idea. I'm saying that you do it step by step, get stronger each day, improve by 0.001% each day. That's better because, eventually it's gonna be 1% and then 100%, right? I'm just gonna use the same example. So he told me that, things do not and will not get better. You get better. So I gotta expose myself to it. I have to be like, okay, I gotta recognize that I'm alone right now, and there's no other way for things to get better unless I just choose to work hard and deal with all these everyday life things and my homework and, handling a relatively decent social life. And that's how I'm gonna get better. So that's the third point, exposure. I'm just gonna reiterate the 3 points. Number 1, self-deception is not the right thing to do. Number 2, things do not and will not get better just magically. Unless, number 3, you expose yourself to what you're afraid of. Because that's gonna make you stronger, more able to counter and tackle the difficulties in life. And that's how you get better, and that's how things will get better. I'm not sure, again, from my personal experience throughout this 21 years of living on this earth, and I'm sure many people can relate because I've asked people about their thoughts before I made this video, or at least before I wrote up the script. Positive illusion does not seem like the way to go because it is self-deception, and for the most part, unless you're super lucky, super privileged, things just do not get magically better. I'm ending it here. Be sure to check out FnK Concept on Shopee or Lazada for cool products, original prices. Be sure to watch one of those videos that are gonna poop out right now. Follow me on Instagram, Khian10_. Follow me on TikTok, Chatty Khian, where I'm still trying to figure out how I should, I guess, maintain the TikTok because it's kind of like pretty dead right now. I'll figure it out. Until next time. Oh yeah, I'll figure it out. See, it does not get better magically. I have to actually figure it out, right? And my YouTube, it's not gonna magically have more subscribers. I have to figure it out, make videos, have a lot of bloopers. I'm sorry, editor. Right? Until next time, I'm out.